Hey guys, Josh with LynkSpyder.com. It's been a little while since I've done a video, so I thought I'd give you an update. We've had a couple model changes. This is the 2014 model. I wanted to show you what you're going to get when your package arrives. When you open up your box, you're going to have a couple things. Everybody's going to have a main plate. Everybody will have what we call our spider slider. And if you got the extended model, you'll get the extender bracket. So for those of you that did not get the extender bracket, your base plate will have everything but this knob here. And the first thing you're going to want to do when you get your plate is you want to take off these internal guys. This is just for packaging. So we're going to take off this first one with the hex head screw. That is for the extender model. I'm going to put that over here. So the rest of this stuff is the standard model. And again, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take this guy off. This wing nut here is just for packaging. It's not needed in the final product. That's just to keep things from floating around. Everything else is what you will use on the actual main plate itself. So the second thing we're going to do is we're going to loosen these two guys here. And we're going to take this thumb screw here, and we're going to take this thumb screw, and we are going to put it here. Alright, so the mounting of the spider slider. This is the piece that will allow you to move the camera up and down and side to side once you've mounted the bracket to a chain link fence. So we're going to go ahead and put that on now. I recommend having the shelf on the top. You can also have it upside down if you want. It may give you a little bit more protection on some of the plastic parts of the GoPro. But I like it like this because it gives you the ability to put the camera as close to the fence as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to set that down on these two bolts, and we're just going to loosely tighten these guys down. Okay. Alright, and so that's basically how the shelf is going to mount. So if you've seen in some of my other videos, the process hasn't changed. These are the spider claws, and these spider claws give you the ability to adjust in and out, side to side, and if you move down into this groove, up and down. So as you go to various fields, you're going to find that there is no standard on chain link fences. Some chain link fences are thin, some have thicker wires, some have small openings, some have very large openings, and so our LynkSpyder gives you pretty much flexibility to adjust to fit any kind of fence. Also fits cage netting. In some of the fields that we've gone to where they don't even have chain link fence, they use a heavy gauge, what I call pig wire. It's a square wire opening. This works with that as well. So with the spider slider, you're going to mount this to the chain link fence, you're going to lock everything down, and then you're going to use this spider slider and you're going to loosen these nuts and slide the camera up and down and side to side. Alright, so you've got the spider slider on the bracket now. The other stuff that you have are a set screw and another one of these thumb nuts. And what you're going to do is you're going to take the tripod mount on the GoPro, and I'm going to show you on my model here in a minute. You're going to screw that up into the bottom of the tripod mount. You're going to set it down here on top, and then you're going to tighten this nut down. And what that does is it gives you the ability to rotate the GoPro from side to side. Sometimes the fences are mangled up, and if you mount the LynkSpyder flat, you're going to be looking in a different direction. So having the ability to rotate is beneficial. The other thing, as you can see from this groove here, you can slide the GoPro in and out. I like to put my GoPro right up against the fence. That way I can shoot and get the entire field. In some cases, even with an ultra-wide setting, I can get almost the coaches in their dugouts. I want to see everything, because what I do is when I shoot a game, I'm going to go back and score the game later. When I have the LynkSpyder set up this way, there's nothing on the field that I don't see. Okay? So before I show you my model, I also want to show you how you're going to mount the extender bracket. Okay, so we're going to turn that shelf over. Then we're going to tighten the spider slider back down. Alright, and the reason we're going to do this is because the shelf, or the extender, actually mounts to the spider slider like this. Okay? Now, everything else I've given you is a toolless setup, because when you're going to go out to the field, you're not going to want to mess with tools. You're going to get out there, you're going to forget the tool that you need. But I did make an exception in this case, because what this shelf does is this extender does is it allows you to place a standard camcorder, and they're heavier than the GoPro. They're not as shock resistant, and so I want to make sure that guy doesn't go anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a hex head screw. It will require a 7/16 wrench. You can use a crescent wrench. You can use pliers in a pinch. But there's only one way to put it in there. You're going to slide it down through that hole, and then you're going to tighten it down using this thumb screw here. And you can just kind of get it on there semi-tight right now, and then you can make sure it's square. Okay, kind of push on that. And you may not need the wrench. Sometimes the teeth on that dig in pretty deep. But in most cases, especially when it's hot outside, it's probably going to move on you. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your wrench, just kind of hold on that a little bit, and just give it a tighten. Doesn't have to be real tight, but you don't want that moving around. Okay? So very much like mounting the GoPro, you're going to take that set screw and that thumb screw, and you're going to pop it up in there and screw it in the tripod mount of your standard camcorder. The benefits of using the GoPro is that you can tilt the camera forward. You do not have that capability with this because the camcorder is going to be bigger. It just doesn't have that rotation. The advantage is you can shoot usually over the umpire, and especially if you're trying to capture pictures, a standard camcorder works very well because it doesn't have that wide angle that the GoPro has. You can zoom it up and really get a good shot of the picture. Okay, so that is the assembled product with the spider slider and also with the extender. I get a lot of questions about what do I shoot with. I use the GoPro Black, the Hero 3. I don't have the Hero 3 Plus. It is a better camera. It's not good enough, in my opinion, for me to upgrade. The 3 Black gives me great shots. I've got a white as well. I don't feel like the white is usable. It doesn't capture with the same amount of detail. The silver, I've seen videos from that. I think the silver would work very well. In my opinion, there is no better camera than the black, however. Some of the other things that I have, I use the LCD back. Without the back, it's the GoPro is a very difficult camera to use. Yes, you can use Wi-Fi and you can control things with your cell phone, with an iPad, but when I go to a game, I don't want to carry all that stuff. I don't want to have to depend on another piece of equipment to make sure that my camera's shooting correctly. So I use the LCD back. It allows you to make adjustments really quick. It also makes setup very easy with the LynkSpyder because you're placing it right up against the fence. You're going to move the spider slider up and down until you can see on that LCD back that you don't have any fence in the shot and that everything's good and square. I would not go to a game without that. The other thing I shoot with is this battery pack. You can get these on Amazon. It's the Easy Ack. It is a 12,000 milliamp hour battery pack. It is required if you're going to shoot games to have an external battery. GoPro batteries, that is their biggest flaw. They're just not designed, the battery itself is just not designed to run for hours all day long without some sort of external power. Yeah, you can use additional batteries, but this is so much easier. You plug it in, I can record, 4 or 5 hours, sometimes more. We can generally get 3 games in a day. The other thing I shoot with is the 64 gigabyte SanDisk Extreme Plus, I believe is what it is. You want to make sure you've got the recommended SD card. It's on GoPro's website. If you don't use the recommended SD card, you'll find that your camera will shut down. And I know that sounds bizarre, that an SD card could cause the camera to shut down, but it does happen, and it specifically happens when you're using Wi-Fi. I know at the end of last season, I would turn Wi-Fi off and just control my camera with the shutter button. Very inconvenient. What I found is once I've got the correct SD card in there, the camera doesn't shut down and I can leave the Wi-Fi on. Okay, so what I do is I mount it on the fence. I leave the external battery in the sleeve that it comes with, and I let it hang off to the side, mount it right up against the fence. Couldn't be any better. Okay? All right, the last thing I want to show you is the last design change that we made to accommodate one of my customers. He has an old field. It's called Day Field. It's in Sedalia, Missouri. It's one of the original old wood stadiums. Just an awesome experience. If you ever get to come to Sedalia, you got to go to Day Field. But that screen is not a chain link fence. It is a semi-thin wire. I did not feel comfortable putting this bracket on his fence without some additional protection. And so what I did is, you can see the new 2014 model has this window, and I'm calling it the camera window. And what that will allow you to do is to mount the LynkSpyder upside down, and then you are going to take the camera and you're going to place it right up against that hole. It will mount square up against that hole, and none of the LynkSpyder will show up in the lens. And then this will mount straight up against the fence like you would any other mount. But this offers just a bit more protection against the GoPro. Shock will still be an issue, but the actual ball won't penetrate the fence, move the wire, and potentially damage the GoPro. If you have questions, please contact me. You can find my information at LynkSpyder.com. My email address is josh@LynkSpyder.com. I'm open to suggestions, comments. Find us on Facebook at Facebook/LynkSpyder. Thank you, guys.